Hi everyone, welcome to our How to Play series. This time we are tackling an absolute guitar legends track, Jimi Hendrix from the Jimi Hendrix Experience, which this was released under, and it's Purple Haze, so I had to go full purple with the guitar and everything today. And this one has a lot of fun little riffs in. It's got some of the coolest sort of lead guitar lines in the history of rock music. It's also got a lot of thumb work with some of the chords there, so we'll learn how to kind of bring our thumb across like Hendrix does. But we're going to play through this one, including the guitar solo and everything, all the chords, all the choruses, so I hope you enjoy it. This is just how the beginning goes, just for starters. So we'll start at the beginning then. The intro has a very unusual sound to it, but what you're doing as Jimi Hendrix when you're playing this song is quite simply playing an octave leap on a B flat. He uses his thumb for the bottom note, like that, and the third finger for the top one. So the 6th and 8th frets on the E and D strings. And if you really want to be like Hendrix, he actually picks these totally weirdly up, down in a few live videos that I've seen. So it's up, down, up. It's pretty tough to do that, so bear that in mind. As I've written on the tab, you can see that the bass is providing what is the tritone note, which is why it sounds so unusual. But we're just going to play Hendrix's line, which is just the octave. Then it comes in with one of the most powerful lead riffs in the guitar repertoire, which I'll run through you here, but it's worth knowing this shape anyway. So we start with a slide up to the 9th fret on the D. That's a down pick for me, up with the next one. 8th with the bend. Quite a big bend. Hop over to this 7th fret here, so the whole riff is bit of vibrato on that. So then come away and slide up. Nice hammer on there. And then you play it twice, so it comes again. And then the next line, slide up to the 7th. Bend away from yourself here, so. Use your thumb on that 3rd fret there. And you catch this open string. Slide up to the 7 again. And then you bring it down. Slide down, and that is your introduction section done. It's quite fun to play, and it's pretty straightforward as well. Now, I've been playing the rhythm wrong of these chord sequences for many, many years. I used to think it was something like that, but instead, on the album version, it's much more restrained than some of the live performances that Hendrix gives. So I'll tell you how to play it as per the record. So you come for this open E string, like that. Make sure you learn this shape, the Hendrix chord, which is very, very used, a 7#9 as it's called in music, but we just call it the Hendrix chord because he was a very strong user of this chord, and this is one of the pieces of music that really kind of pushed it into popularity. So open string, this shape, Hendrix chord. So that's the rhythm. Then you come down to essentially a G bar chord. But one of the very interesting quirks of Hendrix's playing is that he's a big fan of using his thumb for that shape. So you're going to put your thumb on the G. You're going to mute this string with a fat 3rd finger, but you're going to play the octave on the 5th fret here. So third should sound like that. And then also you want to have the 4th fret and the 3rd fret with your 1st finger. So that's the shape. It's like a bar chord, but like this. So you play your G, just the thumb. And then you pause, and then you're going to do this little lift away here. So that's the same shape, like your bar chord shape. You use your tiny little 4th finger here to do a little pull off here. So this G shape and then this A figure next, it's like this. That's the general feel of it every time it comes round. Now you can add in extra chords here and there. You can slightly alter the way that you pull off the notes. You can play more bass notes if you like, but I'm just showing you how it's done on the record for a good starting point. So from the beginning of this section. Okay, so you make your way through, it repeats a few times, then this is a really fun line. It's octaves. And with the octaves you're going to have a fat 1st finger, so you press down on this 7th fret and then mute this next string with your fat finger and then use the 4th here as the octave. So like that. And then you're coming back to this shape which I said to remember to learn at the beginning. So and you're back into that original riff. Now I've been listening carefully to the album version, and there's a few variations that Hendrix throws in just to keep it interesting. So one of them here, which I've written out for you, is that it involves hammer-on. So if you're bored of playing the same thing, sometimes Hendrix throws in a variation, and this is one of them. It's worth learning because his style of doing it is, and then he uses his thumb. So that's how he actually plays that, which I've always found a bit strange, using the thumb instead of the 1st finger. But that, again, that's one of the quirks of his style, and it means you can then leave that thumb there when you're changing your position. Then we go back to this octave section again. So we're building up to the solo section here, which we're going to do in part 2 of this video. But take this shape on the 9th fret. Same kind of idea, jump up to the 11th fret. So use your 3rd finger again, 3-1. And then bring your 3rd finger up to this 12th fret. Hendrix very, very rarely uses a 4th finger. If you prefer, you can use a 2nd finger as well. Up to the 14th. And then bring it right over to this 15th here on the E string. Make sure you pick that little extra up note there as we approach page 2 of the tab, which is the section just before the solo, which goes like this. And that's part 1 of our video done. We will carry on in part 2 though with Jimi Hendrix's Purple Haze. Hope you enjoyed that, and do subscribe and support the channel in any way you can, and we'll carry on doing what we're doing.